Avatar 2009 by James Cameron was quite the experience. But what I absolutely love about movies is that you can go back and glean new interesting details about them, especially if you had fun watching it. When people started catching on and getting hyped up for Avatar 2, Way of the Water coming out, there was a lot of expectation that the story would be built upon, and we'd be getting more depth to the characters, instead of it just being a graphical showcase. But we can glean a bit more from the story and get a little bit more depth from looking at the deleted scenes, like the ones I'm going to show today.
Village life starts early. Don't do anything unusually stupid.
We get a little bit more attached to that scene and see Jake interacting with the Na'vi children. Sure, it's not integral to the story, but it helps the Na'vi people to be more relatable on seeing their kids toy around with Jake. It's easy to believe that's what his experience would have been like, not just the hostility from the people who are very dubious about him and uncomfortable with his presence, but the very curious children who quite naturally would try to befriend him or play with him. It is a common thing that prejudice is taught, for if you put two baby animals together, whether they be human being, tiger, lion, dog, even with plant eaters, the babies will naturally play with each other.
Howdy.
In this scene, Neytiri brings him his dire horse, and that's when we get the next scene of him being trained by Neytiri to ride it. I only wish we could have seen her face as she was looking at him play with the kids, because I imagine that that's not something the Na'vi see regularly when it comes to alien Skywalker people being nice to their children. After all, if you recall, in the movie, it was Skywalker soldiers or warriors who chased some of the Na'vi children down, one of them being Neytiri's older sister, back to their school after the Na'vi children had set one of their bulldozers on fire, and unfortunately killed them right there in the school. I can understand why the Na'vi don't even want their kids anywhere near the Skywalker people, and I can understand the misgivings that they have towards Jake. That deleted scene did help things make a little bit more sense and make it flow a little bit better, in my opinion, as to Jake's character. It didn't just help us relate more to the Na'vi and help them to be more human or seem more human, but it also helped Jake to seem more human as well. He's always so serious in the main cut of the movie, but it's actually quite hard to imagine him fathering kids. And at the least, I could see him being a good provider for them, but I could never imagine him actually playing with them and having a relationship with them.
Jake, hang a left. You'll be in the link at the end. Unit 1, Beulah. She's the least glitchy.
The deleted scene that was a precursor to Jake Sully saying that Norm's attitude has improved makes a lot more sense now. People were speculating that Norm was probably jealous of Jake because he wanted to be part of the Na'vi culture. There must have been a disrespect factor there as well, with Jake not being a scientist and being a soldier instead. These people were working with his brother, and so when he came along to replace him, it almost feels as though Jake is an imposter. However, when you put the deleted scenes together, it makes a lot more sense as to the motivation and the actions of the characters.
Norm, I'm gonna need you to operate Jake's link.
What? Oh, come on.
You got a problem?
Yeah, I do. I trained 3 years for this mission. I speak the language fluently. He falls off the frickin' turnip truck and all of a sudden he's the cultural ambassador?
It's not our choice, Norm.
Yeah, well, you know what? I didn't come here to wash dishes while you're on some interspecies booty call. God.
I understand completely while that would be frustrating to Norm, and this was the culmination of all the snarky attitude that he was showing Jake during the movie. And then out of nowhere, it seems as though Norm is just warmed up to Jake completely. There was never ever a reason for him to kiss up to Jake, so it seemed pretty odd and very transient that all of a sudden he's friendly. I only assumed that his attitude improved because I guess over time he started liking Jake for, I don't know, some reason. Time passes by. But the motivation that they gave Norm for his attitude quickly changing was in this deleted scene.
Storm's attitude has improved lately.
This is a very important
Scooty's back on board.
Really helps to improve your attitude when you're getting some hey. Poor boy was all pent up. Of course, there are some deleted scenes that I can understand completely why they cut them, but there are other deleted scenes that were cut down for time due to the studio or the director trying to fit within the time constraints and wondering if they cut out those scenes whether or not the story would still flow, that were either integral to the relatability of the characters or would allow the story to flow a lot better and seem a little bit less shallow. What is your favorite deleted scene from Avatar? Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.